Something about messing up. What up? This is Nick and Shawn. We're here for the morning. And then welcome to this robotic opening. Remember not to hit the frickin' table. If you hit the table, that'd be a mistake. You'd have to come back from that.
Okay.
And that's the name of the game. What's up? Hello.
Good morning.
My name is Nicholas Matthew Nieblis.
I'm Shawn Warner. Killing the game. What? I legally changed it.
What game?
Shawn Warner killing the game.
Shawn Warner killing the game is your new name?
Yeah.
That's insane that Shawn Warner killing the game is your new name.
That's right. It's insane in the
membrane.
Boom.
That it's Shawn Warner killing the game. That's your new name. That's insane. It's in the membrane.
Mm-hmm. This opening is so lame. But I'm glad you came.
That's
What's going on,
right. It's
everybody?
going insane.
Woo woo! Pew, 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 pew.
Welcome to Mourning the Morning. My name is Nick Nieblis. This is Shawn Warner. We're here to
Yep.
just bring you some randomness and some ferny. Downy Fresh.
You smell terrific. Just washed, huh?
I've worn it for 3 weeks. No washing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's just my
You
musk.
Stay fresh, dude.
That's just my musk.
You stay fresh. I like that.
My musk is like a nice, clean forest.
Ooh. Mine's more like a New Jersey trash dump.
This time of year, delicious.
When it starts getting warm. Oh, yeah.
I am trying to find our thing so I can share it.
Okay.
Here we are.
Oh.
There it is.
Mine's the first thing that popped up.
I'm sharing it.
Sharing it. I as well.
Come on over. Come on over, baby. Come on over. Come on over, baby. Hey, boy, don't you know I got something going now?
Ooh! 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 Ooh!
I'm so into you.
Yeah.
Tell me
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you want me to. I don't mind.
Oh,
Hot volume.
Hot volume. Hot mic. Hot mic. What's going on out there, people? Come talk to us. Come hang out with us. What is the haps? Let me kick it off.
We're talking mistakes.
Yeah. Let me kick it off with a little story about last night. Not necessarily an F up. I'll let you decide, Nick. So
I will.
Okay.
Very, like,
with extreme prejudice.
I will let you know how big of a mess up it is.
My
too.
man. Okay, so I went to bed about 12:30 after finishing up Game of Thrones last night. And my son, he's trying to catch up on Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
But I called him right before bed. I said, hey, bud, you got like 2 weeks left, I think, to catch up 4 seasons? You think that's even possible?
Somebody did it in a day, so like it's
What?
60. I mean, it's 67 hours or something like
but
that.
You couldn't do that in a day.
Of course. In a
Just
weekend,
saying.
I mean, like James Corden had like one of his
How
PAs
cool.
like watch it the whole thing.
He's got his eyes pinned open.
they just hold him up in a room with a TV and like all of the DVDs or whatever, and then they just gave him food and snacks. And
Okay.
he had his like mom come and bring him soup.
Yeah. I like
So
it.
yeah, you can make it. You can do it.
You
if
can
you
do it.
If you have a
You can do it.
You know what though? If you have a late night show host who is your boss,
Okay.
who pays you to do it,
Yeah.
do it.
Oh yeah, no question.
Simple.
No question.
Simple.
Okay. So he's trying to
catch up.
He's trying to push through.
Okay, let's get to the
And-
mistakes, Shawn.
So I go to bed. I'm like, have a good night. Enjoy Game of Moans or whatever episode you're on. So I go to bed and I'm feeling good. I'm about to fall asleep. I'm almost out, Nick. No,
Yeah.
I think I am out. Next thing you know, Dad, you gotta come in the kitchen right now. I'm like, huh? You know?
Yeah, locked and
What are
loaded.
you doing in my room?
As any personal home defense person
Sure,
knows,
sure,
this is the best method.
Just sweep.
Yeah.
Just spray.
Spray and pray. That's it.
It didn't hit him though.
No, didn't hit him.
He's okay.
Okay.
I got some serious
Drywall to patch,
to
yeah,
work
for
at.
sure.
So I'm like, okay. So
You gotta back it with some newspaper, put that mesh stuff over it.
I had a friend who used underwear.
Interesting.
once.
That's probably not a good idea. That'll seep through.
Oh God. So I get out of bed, and my son's always very cryptic when it comes to anything. Like anytime I try to talk to him, he's like, "Dad, do you know so he won." Who won? I don't. What are you talking about?
Hey son,
remember?
How was your day today? And he goes, I don't know. Solve this puzzle to find out.
You're alright. We just had some music kick on.
Worry
There's nobody here but Nick and I.
about a thing.
And also,
Well, it was a ringtone. I think my dad's iPad or phone.
oh, okay,
or like
got it.
several other
That's
things.
distracting.
We need a more stable surface for
We really
this
do.
camera. We need a real camera.
Mm-hmm.
We also need a real microphone.
Uh-huh.
So much stuff we need. Why don't we have it yet? We've been talking about getting that
We
shit
totally
for so
have.
long.
Totally have.
That's a mistake.
You know, it really is.
So where'd your mistake come, Sean?
Okay,
Ian was being cryptic.
I think it was Ian's mistake. So
Okay.
I'm trying to wake up. And
Yeah.
He comes in. He's taking me into the. He's like, right there. Look, right there. Do you see it? Behind the fridge, on top of the fridge, he's pointing. I think he's messing with me. I don't know if I'm in a dream state. I'm thinking, did I do like mushrooms last night before I went to sleep? I'm like, what are you talking? Just tell me what it is. I don't see it. I'm trying to open my eyes. I'm like,
Are you turning lights on?
the lights are on,
Uh-huh.
and he's holding a broom. I'm like, what is going on? I'm thinking, okay. I was like, what is it? Is it a bat?
Is
Is
there
it a
an
bat?
animal?
I thought it was a bat.
Okay.
No, I look and you see this cute little bird sitting perched on top of the. He has the front door open. The dogs got out. He was taking the trash out. Today's trash day, so he was doing it last night.
Right.
I'm like, you woke me up for a bird? Like he's freaking out. Like it's just a bird. I was like, grab a blanket. We'll get this thing out of the house. Of course, we have to get the back door open. The bird doesn't want to fly in the direction of the damn open door. He finally corners it. I'm like, just grab it. Like, pick it up. You're not going to hurt it. Just easy. You know, grab it. Of course, it gets away from him.
Yeah. He just Lenny's the fuck out of it. Just,
Oh, no! My friend.
soft
My
and
friend.
pretty.
My friend.
Soft and pretty.
Sorry, bud. It's for your own good.
Think of the rabbits.
No. So much fun.
Think of the rabbits, George.
We finally got out of the house, and I'm like, ugh, drop the broom, like, good night.
Yeah.
F up.
Is it an F up?
He said he had the doors open because it was
It
hot
sounds
in
like
there.
you've never taught the boy how to deal with a wild animal.
When is that lesson taught?
Clearly last night.
Right. Oh, we handled it. I thought for sure it was a bat,
Right.
but yeah.
Well, shh. Let it bite you. You become a vampire. You're then immortal.
Yes.
So
Dun, 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 dun.
that's how it goes.
Oh,
Let's talk about the thing that everybody's talking about right now, that coffee cup on Game of Thrones.
we gotta mention it.
Because we're talking about mistakes today. How to come back from mistakes, what to do when you make mistakes.
Mm-hmm. This is a colossal F up on the part of Game of Thrones.
You know what? I think it's the sense of it, actually, that I'm getting from people's reactions is like the audience is like, okay, whatever. Like, let's just keep going. Like, honestly, I feel like they put so much work into the show.
Uh-huh.
Even if I saw it, I would. That's a testament. It was right there, but it's a testament to how many people didn't see it their first watch through.
Sure.
And a testament to how good they all did. Also, probably a testament to how dark it actually was, considering all the hubbub about how dark it was recently too.
Sure.
But it's like, yeah, you couldn't.
You don't
really
think it's
see
possible it was done on purpose? I find it.
I find it very hard to believe that it made it all the way through.
There's people that's their only job is continuity, to make sure that this is right, that's right. How do you miss a coffee cup?
In editing?
I don't
It's
see how
tough.
you can miss that.
It's tough because if you're looking at the same thing over and over and over, you keep focusing on like the same. Like if you don't take enough time away from it, but again, you probably have so many different editors, assistant editors, so many people. Nobody being like,
It was such a fun scene too. It was a fun scene.
yeah,
And I think editors and the people who work on their show are as equal.
they're fans.
as we are,
Yeah.
and they're probably they're like, wow, this is a great scene. This is really working. We missed the Starbucks. I'm more interested in what's in it.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
What is
It's a
the
chai.
mother of dragons drinking?
It's a chai.
You think it's a chai tea?
I think she's kind of basic.
Okay, I think she's a basic. That's right. Still not more jarring than seeing Ed Sheeran on Game of Thrones.
Still not. Yeah, you're
Still
accurate.
not.
Accurate. You know what? That coffee cup on Game of Thrones, not as jarring as Ed Sheeran.
Still pisses me off. That took me out more than the coffee cup.
Yeah, agreed. What is Ed Sheeran doing there?
What do you do?
So let's talk about mistakes, Sean. We all make mistakes. That's a. Are you no-butting me right now?
No. I mean, yes.
And
Man, that is a slippery
right,
slope.
yeah, it is. That's why you don't know but from the beginning. What are you trying to disagree with, Sean? Right off the bat, before I make my first point.
I make all kinds of mistakes. I was trying to say that I don't make mistakes, but that's just in my own world.
Oh, so you were going for the joke.
Mm-hmm.
That was a mistake.
But I will recover from that.
How do you handle mistakes, Sean?
Um,
What's the first thing when you make mistakes?
With great anxiety.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. With great anxiety comes. With great anxiety comes great unnecessary feeling.
Yes. Oh, it's the
Unnecessary burden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the thing too. So I've long thought I'm not a learned man in the traditional sense, but I like to read a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And something that strikes me is how generations have like given way to other generations' faults.
Okay.
Right? So if you think about the Depression era folks who were basically the parents to baby boomers.
Yep.
Right? They have this mindset of scarcity, you know, like the Depression, food, we need food and shelter and clothes, and that's basically it.
Right.
Maybe we'll skimp on clothes. Definitely going to skimp on food. Shelter, we'll see what happens. Like, you know what I mean? Just as long as you're living and you have most of your fingers, we're calling that an A+. Like, those are those kinds of parents, right?
It's a simpler time.
Right. And then that gave way to the puritanical 50s, where it was like an anti-communism, anti-socialism. It's like whole, like, you know, McCarthy, like the blacklisting, all that kind of stuff. Where it's like they started adding like God to the currency, adding God to the national, the Pledge of Allegiance, you know, those kind of things to make America more of like this shining light on a hill of like morality in like a Puritan sense, right? So it was all like the, you know, and those people were the parents to baby boomers, right? So it's like this mixture of like scarcity mindset with like this is the kind of people that don't talk to their neighbors about religion, politics. You know what I mean? Like you don't talk about those things at the dinner table kind of people.
Sure.
So like I feel like because you didn't talk about those things, there are a lot of things that they didn't talk about. How many times? Because you're trying to have this like exterior.
Well, it was very depressing stuff to talk about, so it's like it's easier just to be like.
Of course, but then that gives way to like trying to keep up a front, not just like we're all sad, we all suck, and we're all in it together,
right.
and whatever. We just don't talk about it because we're not bitching.
Right.
Now we don't talk about it because we don't want you to know like. You know, that we're struggling financially or like we're doing okay, but you know, we're having arguments sometimes. You know, like it's that's turned from like we don't bitch into now we have to like make this facade of what we want you to see.
Right.
You know? So I think that has given way to them parenting the baby boomers who then parented us on essentially not knowing how to deal with some basic things. Like how to deal with like, how often did your parents say, I mean, maybe they did, maybe they didn't, I don't know. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I apologize. That was wrong of me. How often have you heard your parents say that? Personally?
Yeah, looking back, I can't think
not
of
very
a
much.
lot where they did that.
I've heard it more from my dad than from my mom.
Okay.
So I think I learned that a lot from my dad. But, like, honestly, I don't know if it was something that was really ingrained in me as a kid that was like how to go about it. Like the conversations that I have with my kids about how to apologize, talking to each other, you know, Mira and Lael had a conversation the other day.
What's up, Michelle?
That we were...
What up, Tiffany?
Hey, Michelle. Michelle's from Australia.
Oh, okay.
Down under. But Lael and Mira were having a conversation.
Right.
And they got upset with each other, so we had to like call them in and like sit them down and be like, hey, what are you upset at her about? Well, I feel like she doesn't care about me. And then she's like, well, I feel like she don't care about me. And it's like, why do you feel that way? So they have them talk about it. And I'm like, my parents never did that. It was just like, whichever kid is easier to tell to stop, or we told that kid to stop.
Or we were told to separate.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
there was no interaction whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
So there was no like, I made a mistake. This is how you handle it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so that has affected all of our adult relationships.
Okay.
How many people
That makes
do you
a lot
know?
of sense. Well, get it.
Stupid
Messing
fly.
my friend.
Okay, it's all right.
Messing my
it's
friend.
okay. It's all right. Hey, don't let him bug you.
Hold on. Clear. I don't know if I come back from that one, Nick. Yikes.
So I feel like it's definitely affected us, and we've all had to like learn, you know, in our adult friendships from people who maybe there's a smaller portion of people who have healthy parents, you know, have healthy relationships with their parents, have strong like upbringings of not just morality but like an ethical, rational upbringing.
How did those parents learn that?
I don't know.
I know.
Probably education, honestly. Education was something that think back, like when you're worried about your food and your clothing and, you know, money and whatnot, you're working, you're not getting educated.
Right.
There's so again, that's
you're just trying to fill those basic needs. Mm-hmm.
Right. So like the emphasis on like getting a job opposed to getting educated and even like self-development. Like somebody in the 30s is not going to think about like, you know what? How can I better my internal life? What is my inner critic saying to me? My inner critic is saying, don't get my fingers caught in that gear.
Mm-hmm. I can't even find a job.
Right, yeah.
We're standing in soup lines
like,
miles long.
I'm sure.
How can I better myself?
But think about it too. Like they're even in the depression era. It's not like depression wasn't existent. It was called the depression. It's just people didn't talk about it. So you have all these people that are just trudging through life. All these like men and women who are just like, well, we gotta like, you know, scrape the sole off of this boot and boil it for some stew. Right. You know, like, jeez, man.
That sounds delicious.
Boot stew.
Boot stew.
I think the first thing, I need creative writing and that stash. OMG. J.R. Harris, why don't you get on the same page as us, first of all? That stash, though. I'm kind of liking it. It's growing.
Oh, no. See, that is my fear.
Yeah,
that is my fear.
Yeah. Just keep it going.
I had a great idea today that I am going to shave this after my show. I'm going to shave this for charity. Am I relevant enough, Nick, to shave this beautiful? No?
No.
Wow.
I mean, you're
even on the low.
Do you not?
Who would pay? Who would help a charity out there?
Everyone knows
down
you
here.
want to. Everybody knows
here.
you want to shave it, though.
No, I'm thinking that. But see, you said it's starting to grow on you.
Sure, but again, I don't think it. I mean, go ahead and shave. I don't care. Like, it's not like
we're off to a bad start. What's our numbers, John?
We want you to pay us, Shawn.
You want? Wait a minute. That's backwards.
We've got negative $30 in the bank account.
Dang it! That's for all the product that I put in this beauty. All the product.
So I think what's the first step to, like, as soon as you make a mistake, I think the first thing is
acknowledging it.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think before that even though, because that's part of it for sure. But like, what about having compassion or empathy? Like those
for yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
I think that goes into a lot of you being healthy up here.
Of course.
And here, yeah.
So when you make a mistake, like I think the worst thing to do is be
what up, Andy?
Be like, what up, Andy? You know what I mean? Like it's like the worst thing to do. It's not just to be hard, which you do this.
I'm pretty hard on myself.
Yeah, you're I am shit! I am a crap ball!
That's right.
I'm a big old crap ball! I cut it. We're not doing that.
All right.
You're gonna do that, you get a Harry Carey.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you better think long and hard.
Can we just do lethal injection?
No. It's not legal in the state of California, I don't think.
Nah, anymore. I think it still is.
Capital punishment should be done.
Oh, it's so ridiculous.
Let's get over that.
Especially lethal injection.
Different episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think having self-compassion is important.
That makes a lot of sense.
You have to
fuck-ups can cut you deep.
Sure.
Because you mess up. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, because like if you get hard on yourself, you're immediately gonna have a double emotional reaction because you're gonna have a mistake. You're gonna feel like, oh shit, I messed up, and then you're gonna be like, oh, you suck, you messed up, and then you're gonna like compound your negative emotional feelings and be like even more so. And then when somebody's like, oh man, you messed up, you're like, yeah, I know I messed up.
Right?
Why don't you give me a break?
Hey.
And they're like.
No, that's true. The thing is, the idea of all mess ups, we've heard it's not cliche, but it is to learn from them.
Yeah.
And you can't get
learn
to that.
From your mistakes.
You can't get to that learning, to that lesson until you can do the struggle of dealing with yourself.
Yes.
Dealing with that.
I am a big talker.
That is very true.
That
is very true. Anyone that's watching your show knows that.
I don't think that there is an end to discussions or arguments.
Never, dude.
So like
we agree to disagree. That is not an ending to anything. Stop it.
That's a coward's way
so
out.
So weak.
Coward's way
weak sauce.
Out. One of us needs to change our views because there is truth. There is truth. Or I need to understand your view and disagree with it on a rational basis.
Sure. Backed up with facts.
Back up with facts. That needs to be a segment. Back up with facts.
Back up with facts.
Back up with facts. You know, elephants never forget. You know how we know this? They count the number of peanuts they have. Back up with facts.
Back it up. Prove us wrong. I like it.
As
new segment. Yeah. New segment.
Yeah, backed up with facts. Yeah, I think. And then you said acknowledge it. You have to. It's how you acknowledge it too, right? Doesn't it all come down to how you do things? Really?
That's fair.
Right? Because you can acknowledge it. You can apologize. You can do everything. You can do all the steps right.
Yeah, you have to acknowledge it because then if you want to go and redo it,
like
and
some
you make the same mistake, then you're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, but if you miss one of those steps, it's going to be detrimental to the whole process. Just like imagine like the perfect.
Oh yeah.
Coming back from a mistake. The perfect coming back from this mistake, but then remove self-compassion, you're going to feel like shit.
Right, especially if you're a stair builder.
No Can you take me through that?
I mean, you got to know how to do it.
Stair builder?
Yeah. You know, getting to that second floor. Unless you also have an elevator builder in your house, then you can
steps.
You could forego.
You talking about steps?
Yeah. You tell me that's not as good as Don't Bug Me?
Oh no, it's definitely as good as that. I mean, look, that is not the bar though.
Okay.
Let's be clear.
Whoever said we set the bar high, my man.
If you can do better, please do. As will I. So please.
Fair enough.
No, but like you remove the compassion, then you get, whatever. Like if you remove your attitude and the way that you communicate to somebody and just decide to communicate no matter what, like, hey, I'm sorry, my bad, that was my fault.
Well,
it was my fault, okay?
Well, you the one left the stove on, man.
Yeah, I could have blown up the house. I'm sorry.
What were you? Was that liquid nitrogen you were heating up?
It was a volatile chemical.
You don't.
My bad.
We could have all died.
Yes, I understand. There are several people that are sick on the floor right now from the fumes, and that's my fault. I'm taking responsibility. Okay.
Well, you said you were going to call for help. Like they're writhing in pain.
I had to update my status before sending that email to 911.
That makes a lot of sense. You sent an email.
That was my bad also. Okay. I apologize.
Listen,
I should have called. I was on hold. Okay. I was on hold with Kiss FM trying to get Britney Spears residency Las Vegas tickets. Thank you. I'm glad you understand it.
That I get.
So I sent a 911 email.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Don't. That's not on him, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's not how you.
That's not how you learn. No.
When you do all mistakes require an apology.
I don't think. Oh. Well, that all depends in if you've wronged someone,
right?
If the mistake impacts somebody else in a negative way,
of course, right?
Sure.
Yeah, as long if there's
think you have
an
to
audience to your
apologize,
mistake, maybe even.
Ooh.
Because even
Will
if
we be apologizing every week?
because people do apologize when they have audiences for their
Mm-hmm.
mistakes, don't they? Like you see somebody like over there on a banquet table or whatever, like, oh, this is nice, and then
You double
Oh,
dipped. You double dipped. You double dip. You dip one into the sauce and then you move on.
I thought it was just a dish for everyone to dip in.
No.
I didn't think that.
Yes, but you
I'm
don't
pretty
double
sure-
dip. You took a bite and dipped again.
I understand, but I'm pretty sure I just dipped on one side and then I dipped the other side, so it's
But
like
you're
not even my
touching-
lips.
you're
Not
touching
even
it
my
with your-
lips. I'm just holding by the tail. I'm so
Just
sorry.
the fact that you're
I'm
hovering
just-
over the
yes.
food. You're
I'll-
hovering.
you know what I should do? You know what I should do? I should grab a little plate, put my thing on there,
Yes.
scoop a little sauce. I even scoop the sauce where I dip, so the double dipping portion of the sauce is now out of the dish.
Yes.
And maybe I should even take the spoon because that touched the double dipping, and then I'll find a
No,
spoon,
yeah,
and then I'll replace the
okay.
spoon in the dish.
Okay.
And then,
I still haven't heard an apology in there. That's all. I don't.
I mean, it wasn't really against you
Oh, it's.
that
But I
I mean, this isn't even your party, Jeff. This is Tristan's birthday party.
get it. It's not every day a kid turns 2. I mean,
Jeff, this is look as Tristan's father. I mean, it's my party, so
Yeah.
I'm throwing it for my son.
I get it. I get it.
You're his godfather. We asked you to do that.
And I appreciate it. It was a huge honor.
It seems like maybe it's not a huge honor the way you responded that way.
You know what? I'm out, dude. I don't want to be that. I just give me an apology for the double dip, and then we can move on.
This is my party.
I know it's your dip. It's your dip.
It's my
Your
dip. I
party,
can double dip
home.
if I want to. You know what?
Oh, now you can. Now
You know what?
Wait a minute. Now
If
wait a minute.
if I want to double dip, everyone here, listen up. If I want to double dip at my own kid's second birthday party, I'm gonna double dip. That kid's got snot all over his face,
Yes.
and he's eating it with the cake, shoving it all currently into his mouth. I can double dip with a goddamn piece of shrimp, Jeff. With a goddamn piece of shrimp.
Apology accepted. What's going on, Kelly? Big Bob, what's going on? Used to be one of my instructors.
Ooh.
I remember a kid who was going through.
Forgot his custom bow. Oh, that sucks. You don't want to use one of them rental bows.
Uh,
Talk about bow. You know what I mean?
those
Try to
rental
roll it.
companies
That's one of
jacking up the price
for a
300% for.
quality bow.
It wasn't
You know what
rated
I mean?
right. I was
Basically, just
hitting myself in the back of the head.
basically just spray painted PVC.
Oh,
is what
so
we're
bad,
talking about.
so
What is that,
bad.
3/4? Inch and a quarter? Get out of here.
yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Boy.
Ridiculous.
Give me some koa wood. Give me a nice maple.
You know what? I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I like a good mahogany. You know what I mean?
That's the kind you want to lift up and just.
Get it. You like that? Yeah. You like? Yeah. Keep going.
It's a longbow.
It's a long bow. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still took first place with a subpar bow.
Ooh, April coming at you hot with that mustache is a screw up.
Wow, April. Wow.
Good
Can you
for-
get this?
Yeah.
Can you get this? Nah.
It's a knife. Oh,
Yeah.
it says from April.
Oh wow! Use it to shave this off.
I just heard Navarro's voice in my head. He's my improv coach
okay.
currently.
Yes.
That said, put some damn space between your fingers when you're doing space work.
Okay.
Fair point, Navarro.
Nice. Yeah, here we go.
I'm gonna redo this space
It's
work
okay.
here. I'm gonna put it right. I
Wait,
gotta put it back. Though.
Okay, dude, but
Look, I gotta
you're gonna put the knife back
I have
after
to
April put it there.
I have to redo the space work, Sean. It wasn't proper space work on my part. That's my mistake. Thank you, Sean. Do you have space between your teeth? Is there? If there's a belt in there, there needs to be space between your teeth. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, here we go. All right. Okay. Now that I've got space around my hand. Okay. And then you just pull out.
Oh, much better.
So.
Oh,
Good space work.
well done. Now sew this up.
Oh goodness.
I was in the
gracious.
woods as a kid and had to go number 2. Wipe my ass with poison ivy. I was a mess for a week.
Oof.
great story. Compelling.
That sounds
And-
like written TV. Like,
What's that?
have people really done that? Like,
What,
that's
go shit in the woods?
I guess it's really no. I mean, like, wipe your ass with poison oak or poison ivy. Like,
Ooh.
that is
It seems like something like that's just the
ultimate.
How do you pick the one spot?
your most sensitive places.
Sure. But, like, how do you pick the one spot in the woods that's got poison oak and that's what you reach for?
I don't know, man.
That'd be rough.
I wouldn't pick up
That'd be
anything from the
rough.
ground to wipe with.
I would just
feel.
rather, like, take my underwear off, use
You know what
it,
you do?
toss it.
You know what you do?
bury it.
You know what you do?
What do you
use
do?
Use your hand and then wash your hand. Look, it's gross.
Yes, it's gross.
It's gross. But you know what's worse?
Poison ivy on your taint. That's an F up. That's a
Taint good.
colossal F up.
That is, but he doesn't have to apologize to anybody except his asshole.
That's right. His asshole was probably mad at him for
So mad. His asshole is so hot right now.
Hey!
You listen to me. You listen to me.
I'm burning down here!
This is heating up real bad. Real fucking bad. Got me puckering like a motherfucker.
Can I get a salve? An ointment of sorts?
So bad.
We're literally the embodiment of two talking assholes.
That was the point of the bit. Clearly.
Yeah.
If
Nobody else
people
has
aren't
got any
down for
screw-ups?
look, if people aren't down for that,
We don't want you to.
no.
not keep
We'll
watching.
still,
We
yeah,
want
we
you-
want you to keep watching,
Please
until you're
keep
down
doing
for
it.
something.
Right.
Find something that we're doing that you like and engage with, and focus on that.
That's right. I'm down with Brown. Please.
Oh, I'm going back to the asshole.
Hello.
Yeah, I think again when it comes to making mistakes, like even like that one, you could be like, I'm never going to the woods again.
Right.
That is not recovering from a mistake healthily, right? Like if you go ice skating, you fall on your ass a bunch, and you go, I am never going ice skating again.
Right.
Now, of course, if you've
If you really hated it,
if you're
like,
like,
you
I
don't
don't
like
like
that.
it, it's cold, it's
Yeah.
wet, my butt's wet.
Yeah. There's
I
people out there
have-
doing triple.
Yeah, I have
lumps,
no desire to
axles.
be even better at this. Like, whatever. Fine, move along. But I'm saying though, like, you shouldn't let past experiences with mistakes preclude you from doing things that might be fun, that you might enjoy. You know, because like
saying give them another shot.
give things second chances.
Okay.
You got to come back, right? You got to come back to go forward.
Ooh. Oh, I mean, coming back technically is
Like Back to the
you
Future.
moving. Sure, absolutely.
Oh,
Yep.
hey yo.
Yep.
Whoop. 85
DeLorean.
miles per hour.
DeLorean. I heard he
88 miles per hour.
was. It was 88.
Thank you.
Yes.
That was
Well
my
done.
bad. My mistake.
That's okay.
I apologize.
That's okay.
I don't-
Did you say 89?
I said 85.
85. You wouldn't. You're.
I was wrong.
You're not fast enough.
I would have.
You're gonna get all the sparks
I
because
would've-
those start before.
I would have hit Doc Brown and Marty
Oh boy.
if they were in front of the
Right.
car.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, it always has to time travel at the point, like right before hitting something.
Yes.
I would have hit them.
Okay.
They would have died.
Okay. And there's always fire on the ground, but never once you hit the future does the fire remove from the tires? Because I feel like you just be burning up tires.
Right. I think it helps with space-time traction.
Oh, space-time traction.
Yeah.
You can cut loose. You don't want to be sloppy.
Because you don't want to be loose in the corners.
Yeah.
You don't want to be loose in the corners of space-time.
Oh no.
You kidding me?
Oh,
You're gonna end up in
boy.
1492.
Oh boy.
Columbus sailing the ocean, blew
Blew.
your mind. You know what I mean? Okay, so yeah,
That's right.
you don't want that. I think what about big mistakes? I was talking to Kim about this the other day. We've had, since there's been so many people coming out with, like just
like in public figures.
like public
coming
figures
out.
and stuff with people who have made huge mistakes, people who have predatory behavior. I think that we as a society need to draw a distinction somewhat, or at least understand that there is a spectrum of assholery out there.
Yes.
Some of it is fairly harmless, such as this.
Right.
Some of it is very harmful. In the way that people use power and prey on innocent or people who want help or need help or who are looking for a step up in their career or whatever it is. Like when there's a power dynamic, it is
that could be impactful to many, especially when you're at a place of power,
absolutely,
a position of authority. Yeah, absolutely. Do you think is any sin? Can you come back from it with an apology and reprimands and
look,
I'm sorry for what I did. I'm doing this and this and this to fix it. Is anything? Can you come back from anything?
You know me, man. I am very much in favor of second chances.
Okay.
I think that there are some things though that are quite literally crimes against humanity, in that they are crimes against human nature. They are crimes against not just like...
So an apology from Hitler back in the day would not have been good enough for you.
I honestly think that...
Stalin. Mussolini.
Yeah, I mean, people say all that, but I'm talking about just the guy, not even just... Like, I don't want to belittle anything, but I want to say... Everyone knows a story of somebody's uncle who touched somebody. You know what I mean? For me, that is a crime against humankind.
It really is.
That is a violation of the contract of human beings that we have all just taken out by existing.
Hello.
You know what I mean? So I feel like...
Can we be kind to one another?
There's... Even within that, I weigh on the side of to each their own. Everyone forgive how you can forgive.
Okay.
If you cannot forgive somebody who has violated human trust in that way,
okay,
I don't blame you.
Don't blame you, but also you don't want people to live there because that
no. And I think there's a difference between living in that and like holding on to that and maintaining that grudge and anger and hate and whatever that is, opposed to letting that go and saying, I care not for that person.
Right. I
will do everything I can to avoid that person because I want that person to have no influence in my life. Right. They have no meaning to me at all. Treating that person as though they have gone off into oblivion, I think, you know, is okay. Sure. You know, I don't think when people try and force people to apologize for things that like there's that somebody doesn't understand the hurt happening is a rough situation. That, oh boy, you know what I mean. So apologies and mistakes, you know, they go hand in hand, but they don't always have to. I don't think.
That's why I feel like there's not going to be... I feel like this whole Michael Jackson thing, like his legacy is going to be changed. Absolutely. I don't blame people for like, oh, I'm not listening to his music. It was on at the gym the other day, and it was actually affecting me as I was listening to it. I'm like, he's not even here to... He can't fix those mistakes. He's gone. You know what I mean? Like, he can't... Can he ever? You know what I mean? Like,
the thing is, though... I didn't watch the documentary. Okay. From what I gathered, though, it's fairly damning. So, very. What I would say is that from that documentary, it's I'm okay with like just being done with them. Just being like honestly, like he's made his imprint. Dude hasn't made new music in a very long time.
And if anything, especially when it comes to Hollywood or the entertainment business, we've gotten pretty good at cutting people out of the cloth of what used to be like, oh, well, we're done with you. You no longer...
I think that, and that's why people say like, oh, well, everyone has issues. Like Martin Luther King had a problem with adultery. You know, Elvis had his issues. Like, right. Yeah, people are flawed for sure.
Not this mustache.
No, that is flawless. But in people's flaws, though, right? Their humanity remains in their flaws. When you commit a crime like murder or, you know, molestation or sexual assault, you know, though, even like just like beating up somebody or, you know, those kind of things, invading somebody's personal space, that is you have a human right to be left the fuck alone.
And we're not just learning, but we've been learning that one wrong against you affects your entire life. It affects all your other relationships.
And I don't think anybody can blame anybody.
Oh,
you know what?
Man.
Like, if somebody has affected you in that way, it may have been a mistake. Now, there is something to be said about behavior as an adolescent and as a young person. Simply because you are not fully developed as a person and you have hormonal issues as well as, brain chemical issues.
Yeah. I don't think that's what we're talking about, though.
Right. But what I'm saying, though, is, barring those things, most people have a solid enough brain to not, again, force themselves on somebody or assault somebody or, drink to the point
if you
where...
had a normal upbringing, do you know
course,
what I mean? All that comes with...
And then there are environmental factors, and of course, how your parents treat women, how your parents treat men, how your parents respond to their environment, and how that infuses how you think about it.
Yeah.
Well,
those are major F-ups.
Of course.
The normal populace is not going to be making those mistakes.
Hopefully not.
Obviously... You learn from your mistakes. Have some compassion for yourself when you make a mess up.
Acknowledge it.
I feel like I do often with the wife and the children. I'm getting better at it, but I think it's good lessons for them to see. Oh, Dad was, a little much, or whatever the crime was, and I apologize for it. And I mean it with sincerity, and Dad's going to learn from that, and we're going to move on. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, there's. I think it's important to search for ways to show the people around you that you are able to, that you're able to make those steps towards them.
How about the repeat mistake? Same mistake, Nick.
No lesson
has been learned.
I don't know if you can say that. When a mistake is addressed. When a habit, we're talking about a habit then.
Okay.
At that point.
That's what can be categorized as
a mistake. It's not a mistake. It's not. Is it a mistake if it's a habit? If it's something that keeps happening, it's a habit.
Sure, but there's probably an underlying problem why you keep making the same mistake.
Sure, of course.
And that needs to be addressed.
But again, that's at the root of the habit. That's not the mistake. The mistake is the symptom of the habit, right? Like, if you
fuck, I did heroin again.
Right, yeah. Like, doing heroin is, of course, the mistake, but the habit itself is the drug habit, which, obviously stems from other issues and whatnot.
Why would you want to do heroin?
So, I'm just saying, there are people that do it. Obviously, there's something that people like about it.
Yeah.
Same thing with all these other drugs,
Steven Tyler, if you could reach out to us, let us know what that was like. My man.
But yeah, people have messed up lives and they want to escape and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that we all need to realize is that we need to take stuff on head on. You can't spend your life avoiding stuff. You shouldn't, at least. Right? That's the biggest issue, I think, in a lot of things where if there is
of making a mistake,
well,
so
not
they won't
just,
even.
Oh well, that's I think that causes issues in itself.
Right.
But if you make a mistake, trying to avoid responsibility for it causes so many problems.
That's a no-no.
Because what do you do when you're trying to avoid, taking responsibility? You deflect, right? You say, well, I did this. Well, you did this.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean?
That's right.
Which is then just makes that person go, hold on a second, you're not listening to me, but now I'm being attacked, so I got to be on the defensive, right?
Which every person that's ever been in a fight with their spouse.
Right, yeah.
Wait a minute!
Hold on a second!
These guys are onto something!
How did this get about the sprinklers?
What the? That's right. You got a good sprinkler key? You need a good sprinkler key.
Mine's all electric. Why do you need a sprinkler?
You have an electric sprinkler key?
No, I have what's sprinkler key? What are you talking about?
That's what you use to get in and...
Why do I need that?
Have you never replaced a sprinkler?
Why would I? I'm a renter now, Shawn.
Okay, I guess that's the mistake I've been making all this time, doing my own sprinklers.
Darn straight, bro.
Sing it.
Now that I found out they have a handyman on duty, I'm just like, cool. Hey, send that handyman out.
Right? Can you send him to my place?
I can't.
Why?
It's not yours.
But just
mine.
Oh.
Mine.
You can't own a handyman.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
We'll find out if that was a mistake after this.
Ding, ding, ding.
After
This was back it up with facts.
Back it with facts!
You own somebody?
Zebras exist! They're in Africa! Back it up with facts!
Right.
You notice how
Africa?
our viewership went down as soon as we started talking about serious shit. They just want to see a couple of monkeys just dance around. What else do you think about when you think about mistakes that people make? I mean,
it sucks as your pride.
You
realizing the mistake, especially when it's against someone else. And
like you mentioned, like, is there anything that you can't come back from? And it's tough because you want to say that no. You want to say no, right? You want to say that everyone should be able to come back.
It's you being able to come back from it. Absolutely. You can forgive yourself and whatever.
Sure, especially if you're a sociopath.
What I'm saying is you can come back from it.
Let's take the extremes out of it then.
Right. I guess what I'm saying is
interpersonal things.
In the eyes of public opinion or in the eyes of society, can you come back
Let
from
me give you an
anything?
example here where I think this one, I mean, I doubt our viewership is big enough for this to even really get out there.
Here we go.
But
says Nick and Sean's watching.
My thing, like Chris Hardwick, for example, was at the beginning of the Me Too movement, right? I think it was after Harvey. But
might have been
his girlfriend
after Harvey, before
I don't remember, but it was early on.
Azari,
before Ansari.
Yeah, Ansari, yeah.
Which Ansari kind of came away from that fairly okay.
There was a bunch of them. Bunch of them,
and I think that these women were inspired to tell their stories, which their stories were categorized as the Me Too thing, which was about clearly about sexual assault.
Yep.
Whereas Ansari and Hardwick, for me, reviewing all the accounts of whatever stories, they were maybe acting like assholes, and maybe even to the point of I'm never gonna see that dude again, kind of asshole.
Right.
But it
was lumped all into one.
It was all lumped into one, and Chris Hardwick has no career now, and I don't know if he's as deserving as Harvey Weinstein. And now if other stuff has come out that I don't know about and whatever else, cool. Because normally what they say, I was talking to some guy who's
our stuff didn't come out though, buddy.
Don't even. I'm not even. I've been married for 12 years. I have not even been anywhere near anyone's stuff to come out. So
that's right. That's right.
But I remember I was having this conversation with this guy who was an ex-FBI sex crimes investigator.
That's all his job was?
He was undercover all the time because he was 30-something, but he looked like he was 20.
Okay.
So they would send him into fraternities to infiltrate, and then they would have these full-on straight up sexual assault
parties, sexual assault parties?
Essentially.
Okay.
And but they were straight up crime waves of assaulting women.
Okay.
And they would bust all of these dudes.
There's stories. I've heard plenty of stories of,
and they wouldn't even know. They would think that this dude's just a pledge or a frat brother.
Yeah. What up, Nene?
Up until what up, Nene? Up until he goes on the stand in the trial, he walks up to the stand, and they're state your name, and he gives his name and rank
FBI,
and all that, And so you have the 4 or 5 guys who are there thinking that they're rich dad lawyer. Guys are gonna get him off, and so they're whatever, all smug, and then as soon as he walks up, all their faces drop. He says
they thought he was one of their brothers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So he's had that whole thing going on, right?
How does that go down at a party?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So that's you've watched documentaries about similar things. You know what I mean?
But did he testify that this stuff was going on? Was that the point?
Yeah, he saw it all happen.
How could you sit? But where do you draw the line of being undercover and allowing this to happen?
I don't know.
Women?
I didn't press the point.
Could you?
That's why I'm not doing that. You know what I mean?
I'd be I need to pick up a phone now and get the cavalry down here and stop these.
I think some of the times he does he has averted things. It's more so he's heard about it. And that's why the FBI is investigating.
Okay.
And so it's an ongoing thing. It's not he's just going to fraternities and being let's hope they mess up. So but I think
you know what their crime should be? Put poison ivy on all the tanks.
I think that it's like those things are sensitive topics because it is like it's a human violation.
Yes.
You know, and some people conflate those issues with people being assholes. You know, like Louis C.K. That is a human violation. Like to reveal your most private parts without somebody wanting it.
That's right. He
Like
didn't shake an elbow.
Get out of here.
He didn't shake an elbow.
Get out of here. Like that's gross. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So I think that it's some stuff is tough to come back from.
Okay, but you can make
Most
amends.
stuff. Most stuff.
He can make amends to those individuals.
I think you have to handle it. It's the way you handle it right away, right? It's the thing that you do immediately that sets the stage. Chris Hardwick was quiet for days.
If he was just being an asshole,
he was quiet.
Does he deserve
for
to have
days.
his career?
Probably not. But I would say this: he responded to it poorly.
Agreed.
You know, he responded to it by saying basically saying having his lawyers it was very lawyery response.
How would you feel if you feel like you didn't do anything wrong? It's not a crime to be an asshole. Do you know what I mean? It's like, how would you feel? You're maybe I said some off color things or whatever, but
it's different if I said something that somebody disagrees with or thinks is offensive, and if I did something to somebody. If I said something that somebody thinks is offensive, I feel like I can normally explain my point a little bit better to apologize in a way that removes the sting while still maintaining what I'm saying. So I don't think that I say things that are offensive.
Yeah, but that's what attorneys are for. They're supposed to be able to do that thing for you. Do you
know
what
but
I mean?
Again, you have to understand what it looks like.
It looks like when you get your attorney involved that you are trying to hide something or cover something.
You got to look at the optics of it.
Yeah.
And even though most of us aren't in politics and most of us aren't in the public eye, we should be looking at the optics of our situation. Like if somebody comes to you and said, "Hey man, did you do this?" And you go "What? No. Are you kidding me?" Even if you didn't, what do the optics look like? Sure. It looks like you're getting very defensive.
Right.
It looks like you're very guilty and trying to hide something, even if you didn't do something. What the hell's going on with your attitude?
Yeah, that's a weird dynamic.
You know? So I think I thought about this, even though I don't really feel like I have, who knows, whatever, but I don't think I have anything in my past that's just going to come up and haunt me. Like I said, I've been married since I was 22, 23. You know, that's basically, most of the time I could have gotten in trouble. I've just gotten in trouble with my wife. So,
yeah.
You know,
and she's definitely going to come forward.
Yeah. But
as soon as you make it big, my man.
Yeah. And she's
I'll see you at home.
And she's brought it up.
She's got a press conference.
Yeah.
Nick wronged me in so many ways.
He said he would do the dishes.
He never takes out the trash. I love you. See you home.
Babe!
I love you. See you home. Should we eat sushi tonight?
Yeah. But Hardwick's response was not one of openness. It was one of defensiveness. You know, Ansari's response was one of openness.
Yeah.
It was one of, this is what happened that night.
Yeah.
This is what I felt was cool.
You decide.
There didn't seem to be anything on if she felt any kind of uncomfortable, whatever. He's very clear this, whatever. Now clearly that was a one night thing, but with Chris Hardwick it was a whole relationship thing.
Yeah.
You know? I think that
and you can wrong someone in a relationship, but
I think that you also have a bunch of Chris Hardwick's friends and people who are close to him who, when people are awful and it finally comes out that they're awful, the people close to them usually are like, "Oh, thank God everyone knows they're awful." You know what I mean? But that didn't happen. A lot of people were like, wait, because they knew the Me Too thing was happening,
right.
They were like, hold on a second, I'm going to reserve judgment real quick and just wait to kind of talk to some friends and be like, is this what's going on? And then you had people be like, you know what? Being on his side and being like,
which just goes to show when you don't know these people, it is very difficult to discern the difference between what is real and what is not. Because headlines we know can be easily twisted with one line, one word even. That's tough.
So I think we all want justice to be served. Obviously, we don't want anyone to be wronged. Right. There's this tightrope we all have to walk when talking about all these things, especially because we want to believe everyone who says that they've been hurt in some way. We want to believe them. I want to, right? There are people who say that they've been hurt.
Who would come forward?
I mean,
Who
there's
would come
just
forward
a woman.
if you're just making it up.
Well,
you know
that's
what
the
I mean?
thing. There's like this woman who was just, put in prison for.
Yeah, she was convicted of
She was
her
convicted
lies.
of her lie,
Yeah.
making up stuff to, rape allegations or whatever. Which, yeah, she should go to jail. Like, that's messed up. Are you kidding me?
Talk about
Like, at what? Like, how far do you take it? Like, at what point do you stop and go, maybe I shouldn't completely ruin these people's lives? I think that it's possible that Chris Hardwick obviously has some issues.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely has some anger issues and some things like that.
Okay.
Like, he's been going to therapy for a long time, too.
Okay.
All the comedians all go to therapy. Like, we all need it. But I think that she also had some issues that I can relate with of a little bit of a little anxious attachment disorder, from what I can see, a little armchair psychologist.
Get it.
Of like feeling the need of like this push and pull with somebody that nobody's gonna love you enough, and I think that they both probably have that. I mean, when you feel like no one's gonna love you enough, nothing's good enough. I know what that feels like. I'm this guy. You know what I mean? It's not enough.
It's not enough.
I don't know. I can't make judgments about anybody's stuff, dude.
And we shouldn't. We shouldn't.
I mean, we kind of should sometimes, but
Well, hello.
It depends. Some people here, like, some people want to be accepted just because. I think you need to prove the validity of. Maybe not prove. That's not the right thing. You can't force your thing to be mainstream.
That's right.
Mainstream is just a culmination of things that people all kind of agree on, right? When you have somebody who's like a furry and they want to wear their furry clothes outside and, at a park with a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, if you're signing autographs, that's one thing.
That's right.
It's another thing if you're just trying to play and go on the slide and
right.
swing on swings.
Zoe the zebra.
We
got no problem
Come on,
with that.
Zoe.
We love you, Zoe.
Spend your time on your own
Are you
dime.
black with
You know
white
what I mean?
stripes or white with black? I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows? Totally.
I feel like there's an appropriateness that society has deemed, and so like we need to be aware of it, and it will gradually shift and progress and change, and we will have new terms and new understandings of ideas and all that kind of stuff.
And we already have. And I think it's a great thing.
Of course,
Let's
absolutely.
move forward. Let's progress.
And the way that we do that is to look back and say, hey, those things that we were doing,
not okay.
Those were mistakes.
No, it was not okay.
Those were not all right.
Let's learn from it.
You know what we should do? Move forward.
Absolutely.
Move forward. Deal with our shit in healthy ways.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Go to therapy.
Oh, I could go to some therapy.
We need therapy. I was thinking I have a friend who's a therapist actually, and she has this whole therapy center, right?
She really needs
and
therapy.
And so you know how everybody does, but you know how we did the CrossFit thing with Josh Tiki over there at CrossFit Foothill.
Just saw him yesterday.
Well, I was thinking we could go do one over at her. Maybe we can go do couples counseling.
Ooh.
And record it.
You and I?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we do relationship and communication exercises.
I like it. Is she private practice? She's not part of a network or a hospital?
Not a hospital, no.
Okay. Let's do that, dude. Yeah. Let's do that.
That'd be kind of fun, maybe.
I'm down with
do
that.
a highlight video of that. I think those things are important, man. You got to learn how to come back from mistakes.
I think we help some people today.
Maybe.
I think we help some people. I think people are really going to really latch on to this idea that, hey, I'm going to make mistakes. I'm human. So how do I learn from them? You know what I mean? How do I recover from them?
You got to look back to move forward. For Mourning the Morning, and all of us here at Cheers,
I'm Ron Swanson.
I'm Sam Malone. Been watching Cheers a lot lately, actually.
It's a good show.
It's so good.
I haven't seen it in years.
It's very good.
I haven't seen it in
Season
years.
4 is when Woody Harrelson comes.
Okay. Woody. He was a nice.
Coach died in between seasons.
Yeah.
That's why they had to replace him. But Kim was saying actually the other day how important the casting is in that show.
Oh yeah,
because
very
the way that,
characters.
Yeah, the way that they got Coach and what Coach's necessary his vibe was, had it perfectly in Woody.
Okay.
So good.
This segment is
Brought to you by Netflix and Cheers.
Conversations that Nick and his wife have late at night. And back to just show us the facts.
Netflix is an artificial intelligence designed to learn about you so as it can overthrow humankind.
Algorithm.
Algorithm.
Al Gore.
Rhythm.
Running for 2020.
Al Gore's rhythm.
Running. 2020.
Al Gore's rhythm is like, what?